All right. No filter MMA family. How y'all doing? I hope everybody had a great holiday and ate a lot of food and got to spend some time with your family and the whole thing. But we got to get back to it, y'all. We got to get back to it. This is something that has really shaken the MMA community for one. A lot of fighters are mad about this, and a lot of people are talking about this, and a lot of fans are very disappointed in how the UFC handles things situationally. You know, um, I kind of see it from both sides of the fence because it's like a parent. It's like a parent being raised in a house with multiple siblings. It comes off as like a parent. Like the UFC is the parent and the fighters are their children. You know, based on hold on, y'all. I had to go get me something to drink, y'all. But it's kind of like I said, the UFC is the parent and the fighters are the children. Like parents can't deal with children, each child the same way for the same thing. And based on the child, there's different ways that things have to be handled. But then you look at the flip side and it's like, okay, this is not a family, this is a business. This is a business. So um you have to handle things differently. But guys, John Jones, cheating is cheating. No matter if this is a family, no matter if this is a business, no matter if this is, whatever, I don't understand. I don't understand why the UFC is breaking their back and disappointing so many different people and tarnishing their reputation by doing things like this. I mean, guys, you guys are watching. Get in the live chat, guys. I need responses. I need, I need opinions on what's going on, guys. So please, get into the live chat. Let me know what you guys are thinking because I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna play some clips of things that certain people are saying, um, because I'm trying to piece this together, guys. Um, so please help me out. But so here we go, guys. John Jones has had a series of testing in the past few months leading up to this fight. So there's a lot of questions as to is he okay? This is what the UFC is saying. What's up, RP? How you doing, man? Let's get this chat going. Trying to get some more viewers up in here. Nodes testing positive. Um, so it was a series of testing that went on, and it seems like the December 9th test tested positive, but was not shown in the previous test, which this is like a whole thing. Like, this is a whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can it be? This is what the masses are thinking. People who we don't know much about the USADA testing. These are questions that they should answer for us, but they haven't answered for us. What is the deal with a series of tests? But then again, it's only showing on the December 9th test that 1 picogram of Turinabol was shown in John Jones's system, and it's supposed to be like a lingering effect. Guys, I'm only speaking on what I have, the research I have done, and what I have seen and what I have read. And the amount of, I mean, even though if you look at the definition of a picogram, it's 1/1,000,000th of a grain of salt. That's the amount that was found in his system. So a lot of people don't care. A lot of people don't care how much was found in John Jones's system. The crux of it is it was found in John Jones's system, and given John Jones's history, how are we supposed to know? And I hate to say it, John Jones may be 100% innocent. And there's been times that I've read small bits of information, and it makes me think that John Jones is innocent. But guys, right now it's kind of up in the air. There's really been no real concrete statement about it. It's like the UFC is trying to, hey, we're going to move the event to Los Angeles and that's it, And I hate to say it, but, that this has really put a lot of people in a bind with this whole moving this fight. It's going to, weight cuts are going to be involved. Weight cuts are going to be hindrance, whatever how you say, hindered. There we go. There's the right word. Weight cuts are going to be hindered. The whole mentality of the fighter is going to be hindered because some fighters go to the place where they're going to fight fairly early, like a couple of weeks out. And there's probably fighters like Cyborg or Nunes or Gus or, some of the higher level fighters who are already in Vegas, preparing, getting used to the altitude, getting used to the humidity, or getting used to just being in Vegas, starting their weight cuts, getting things together, getting things going. So I don't understand why, what I'm saying? I don't see how they were not taking into consideration on moving this fight. So I'm gonna play a clip from Joe Rogan, and then I'm gonna get back to saying what I was getting to, guys. Check this audio clip out from Joe Rogan. This is how much of this stuff was in John Jones's system. Check this out, guys. Just listen up.
Supplement. Here it is. A picogram is 1/1,000,000th of a gram, Nowitzki said. If you put 1 grain of salt on the table and split it up into 50 million pieces, a picogram is one of those pieces of that gram of salt, which is insane. So that grain of salt, it's 50 million times large or smaller than that. It's crazy. So it's very, 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 very small. So if this is true, and they believe it's true, and the guy who runs the California State Athletic Commission, Andy Foster, I have a great deal, tremendous amount of respect for that guy. Very proactive with weight cutting, very proactive with weight classes, very proactive with a lot of the rules. He's really good.
All right. So that was all that I wanted to play. So they said it is like they said that it's like cutting up a piece of salt, 1 grain of salt, guys. 1 grain of salt into 50. What is it? I think he said 50 million pieces. I think that's what he said, guys. That was how much was found in John Jones' system. How do we know that? How do we believe that? How do we seriously believe that is what how much was found in John Jones' system? His reputation of taking steroids precedes him, guys. It does, and that's going to lead me to my next point of, does the UFC favor John Jones? Do you guys think if a lower level fighter, and I understand, pay-per-view views and pay-per-view buys and you know all this kind of stuff, that means something. So does that mean that if you're one of the top draws in the UFC, does that make you untouchable? I think I'm going to ask that question one more time. Okay? One more time. Just because you're one of the top draws in the UFC, does that make you untouchable? Because it seems like John Jones is untouchable, guys. It seems like John Jones is untouchable. This guy popped the drug test multiple times, has been in bucket loads of trouble. This is supposed to be his second or third big return. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is his second or third big return. And he failed a drug test. So does that mean so of course DC speaks out. Of course, all these other athletes speak out. They're pissed. They are pissed. They are pissed. So let's see what John Jones let's see. I read this one piece of this article, guys. It says Jones will now undergo testing from both VADA and USADA for his rematch with Alexander Gustafsson. Let me finish reading. I'm gonna let y'all see this article. Let me turn my screen sharing on. Hold on one second, so y'all don't think I'm just reading. I'm gonna turn this on so you guys can see exactly what I'm looking at, and let me know what you guys think about it. Share. All right, we're sharing the screen. Let's do this. Jones will now undergo testing from both VADA and USADA for his rematch with Gustafsson on Saturday night at the Forum. 31-year-old UFC star is now the first fighter to be enrolled in both VADA and USADA testing at the same time. The cost of the VADA testing will be covered by the $205,000 Jones was fined by CSAC for his failed drug test in July 2017. The idea of VADA testing Jones first came up earlier this month at Jones' licensing hearing with CSAC. Commissioner Martha Shin Euriquides proposed that Jones enroll in VADA to fully clear his name, since VADA, unlike USADA, has no financial relationship with the UFC. So now they're putting Jones through more strenuous testing. But my question is, how quickly does the VADA testing come back? Because I know sometimes there's weeks before, there are weeks before a fight is, before results come back. So if there are weeks, how will we know? So is the fight going to happen? Is the fight going to happen? Because I don't know how long VADA testing takes to come back. I don't know. I don't know how long that. I know USADA's tests take weeks to come back. Like, for example, when Joanna Jacek stepped up and wanted to fight Valentina at 135, they couldn't even clear a pregnancy test in time, even though that was only days before, guys. But we're days before now. So what does that mean? And someone brought up a good point. I was on a podcast. I was on Full Time MMA podcast, and someone brought up the idea of, you know what, just let the rest of the fighters fight in Vegas, and John Jones and Alex can fight in Los Angeles. But would that affect pay-per-view number? I mean, financially, that would be. I feel financially that would hurt the UFC, and that's mostly what they're worried about, is the financial side of it. So, if the UFC would do, if the UFC would do something like that, it would definitely accommodate. it would accommodate the rest of the fighters, because it's not just the move that's affecting everyone else on the card. It's not just the move, guys. It is the financial portion of it for the fighters. I mean, because the taxes are different in California than they are in Nevada. So what that means is that these fighters have to pay way more taxes, and it's pretty much equivalates to a 30% purse cut for everyone. So everyone pretty much missed weight. I mean, if you want to be serious with it, what I forgot exactly what percentage of their purse that they have to forfeit when guys that's watching, help me out. Live chat. Let's get this live chat going, guys. I need some backup in here. How much does a fighter have to forfeit when they miss weight? It's either 30 or 40%. I'm not exactly sure, but pretty much, anyways, everyone pretty much missed weight. And how bad can you punish fighters who actually do miss weight? How bad can you talk about fighters who actually do end up missing weight because they had to cold turkey stop what they were doing, pack up their team, pack up their coaching, all their gear, themselves, everything, jump on a plane and fly to California and resettle themselves back in and restart their weight cut and restart everything that's going on. So is that for all you John Jones fans out there? Someone please explain this to me. Are there any John Jones fans in the live chat right now? Is there any John Jones fans watching this video right now? I don't know. I just had to ask. These are questions. Oh no. These are questions that I need answered. These are questions that I need answered. So is John Jones like, I mean, do we need to see John Jones that much? I mean, I don't think you guys are really understanding the link that the UFC, two links that the UFC are going to. The links to keep this fight afloat, and the links to, cover this up, to make this like this is just a small thing. Guys, then that brings me to my next point of microdosing. Microdosing. Do you guys believe that John Jones may be microdosing? I don't know much about steroids, guys. I don't know much about taking steroids and how steroids metabolize within the body. I'm not too keen on those type of things. I'd rather focus my time and my energy on clean fighters. So yeah, would microdose? Can you microdose to the point of coming up with only testing positive with such a small infinitesimal amount of a certain substance in your blood? That's the question. Can you microdose to that point? Does John Jones have it that down to a science? Like, because we can call John Jones the scientist. Like, that should be his new. That should really be his new. That should be his new fight name, is the scientist. So, one more question, guys. This is another thing I want to ask. Where are the test results from the test that he took before December 9th? All these November tests that I keep hearing about, where are the results from the November test? Has anybody seen the results from the November test? I haven't seen the results from the November test. So yeah, I mean, where's the results from the test that he apparently passed? That's what I want to see. I want to see the results from the test that he passed. So I mean, does that mean? Because if you, to someone who doesn't know much about For someone who doesn't know much about steroids and how steroids affect the body and this and that, it, does you failing a test? Does you failing a test once or multiple? I mean, failing a test once and then in prior tests taken in the same frame of time you pass them. Does that mean is that a fresh ingestion? Is that a? I'm literally asking everyone that's watching right now. I'm asking everyone who's watching this live feed right now. Please drop your comments in the comment section and let me know what you think, guys, so I can have something to rebuttal with, because I literally got on here to ask you guys questions. I really got on here to ask questions. So, yeah, for real. John Jones, what has happened? Hold on, y'all. I'm going to look up some of the things. There's something else that Joe Rogan said. Hold on, y'all. Let me find it real quick. I'm going to mute y'all out. Hold on. Okay, right here, guys. Check this out. Listen to what Joe Rogan said. This is the fishy shit. This right here is the fishy shit that I'm talking about with the UFC. This right here is what I am talking about. It doesn't make any sense. Listen to Joe Rogan, guys. Check this out. Let me know if y'all can hear this.
Guy who runs California State Athletic Commission, Andy Foster. I have a great deal, tremendous amount of respect for that guy. Very proactive with weight cutting, very proactive with weight classes, very proactive with a lot of the rules. He's really good. If he believes that this is scientifically been proven to be from the same exact thing that he already has been punished for, I agree with him. I just that guy knows what the fuck he's talking about. He's legit. So is the
okay. All right. My point exactly. Who the fuck said? I mean, people believe that. Okay, people believe whatever Joe Rogan says is the truth. People live and die by the word of fucking Joe Rogan. People live and die by Joe Rogan. And when Joe Rogan says stuff like that, that puts it in people's mind. That's that pass I'm talking about, guys. That's that pass. People giving him a pass. Let me rewind this one more time. I want y'all to listen to this one more time. Listen how he states the name. Listen, hold on. Let me play this clip for y'all one more time. Here we go. One more time for you guys. Here we go.
And the guy who runs the California State Athletic Commission, Andy Foster. I have a great deal, tremendous amount of respect for that guy.
Okay. A lot of people have a tremendous amount of respect for John Jones. Right or wrong. A lot of people have a tremendous respect for John Jones. Listen to what Joe Rogan said. Just because you believe in someone, just because someone claims to be something, doesn't always mean that it's correct. We believe John Jones to be this great athlete, this and that, and he keeps letting us down. So just the word of somebody, just how you feel about somebody, doesn't make it true. But check all these people he's talking. Everybody's paid by the UFC, guys. Check this out.
Very proactive with weight cutting, very proactive with weight classes, very proactive with a lot of the rules. He's really good. If he believes that this is scientifically been proven to be from the same exact thing that he already has been punished for, I agree with him.
Okay. If he believes, come on, y'all. Everybody who's talking, the person who's talking and the person that he's talking about is paid by the UFC. They're all paid by the UFC. So what does that mean? it's like the UFC released a script to everybody who was being paid, who's being paid by them to say what needs to be said for people to believe what needs to be believed. So I'm gonna play another clip for y'all as well. I mean, only thing I can do is talk about what is being said, guys. I can't. I'm not that good at breaking down what people say. I'm just only gonna play y'all what I can play. I'm gonna pull up this other clip for y'all. Hold on one second. Y'all just bear with. All right, here we go. So here's Dana White talking about moving the fight. Check this out.
Las Vegas with Jones and Gustafsson, the super fight between the women, Nunes and Cyborg, and we're moving it from Las Vegas to the Forum in LA. Tickets will go on sale Wednesday, and people who bought tickets here in Las Vegas can get a full refund. And
that's all you're gonna do for people who bought all these tickets, yo? I'm getting to a point, guys. We're playing these specific clips. I'm getting to a point. I'm getting to a very good point. Listen.
We'll figure out how to get you seated in LA if you're interested in moving to LA to watch the fight. I'll turn it over to Jeff to explain
that right there. Why does Jeff have to talk? Why can't you talk, Dana? Why can't you let the fans know that you're pussyfooting Jon Jones? Why can't you let the fans know that you're the one that's pussyfooting Jon Jones? Hold on, y'all. It's another clip from this that I want to. All right, so this part of the clip is where the newscaster asked Dana directly. Check this out, y'all.
UFC 232 from Las Vegas to Los Angeles because Jon Jones tested positive again for banned substance?
That would be me.
He did not test positive. He did not test positive. Go ahead. Let's make this.
Wait a minute, y'all. Okay, look at this. Check this out. Let me break this down, y'all. Let me go back. I'm gonna screen share this. Watch Dana's face after he says he did not fail. He did not test positive. Watch Dana's face, guys. Watch Dana White's face. Check this out.
Substance?
He did not test positive. He did not test positive. Go ahead.
Let's make this.
Oh boy. Oh boy. So Dana White think he fooled people, and I think Dana White is scared to let something slip. That's why he letting the other dude talk. I feel like Jon Jones, that Dana White is scared that something he might say, something that he shouldn't say might just slip out just a little bit, and he don't want people to know that. It's something that Dana White don't want people to know. And we all know Dana White has a tendency to be shady as fuck. We all know that. We all know that. Jesus, man. God almighty. The more I look into things that the UFC does, the more it starts to come out. So this is one more thing I want to say. So you telling me this is a title fight between him and Alex Gustafsson. Okay. Does that mean that someone who is not a champion is more important than the well-beings of multiple champions fighting on this card? Multiple champ, Amanda Nunes champion, Chris Cyborg champion. They're both fighting on this card, and you're telling me that the urge to get John Jones fighting on TV is more important than the well-being of champions? Chris Cyborg is one of the most focused fighters between men and women, period, in the UFC. Focus, laser beam, tunnel vision, focus. And you telling me that her well-being, someone who's been clean in the UFC and dominant champion, Amanda Nunes, dominant champion, uprooting them from Las Vegas. I'm sure those girls were already in Las Vegas. I'm probably 99% sure that Amanda Nunes, this close to the fight, Amanda Nunes and Chris Cyborg were already settled in Vegas. Amanda was tagging along, she was stringing along Nina Ansaroff, and Cyborg was stringing along her cats, and you know what I'm saying? She got her cats all out here with her, and just all, she got all her, everybody got their thing. Amanda Nunes got, Kobe Covington in her bag with her, and she got everything with, she got Misha Tate's nose and Ronda Rousey's jaw just all packed up with her, ready to go. Raquel Pennington's whole face in her bag, and everything. John Jones got his needles in his bag, and so you got all these fighters that the UFC just pretty much let them know, it's not about you. This card isn't about you. This card ain't about you. This card is about John Jones. So we're going to accommodate John Jones, even though John Jones fucked up again. He fucked up once again, guys. So, anyways, to me, to BJ, from No Filter MMA, to me, this is what this whole thing is saying. To me, it's saying that the UFC only gives a fuck about their they only give a fuck about their cash cows. That's it. They only give a fuck about who's important to them. If you're anybody else, they don't care. They don't care. And it's a real bad look for the UFC. It's a real bad look for people coming into the UFC, people who aspire to be in the UFC. It's a real bad look, and it casts a black cloud over the UFC. Actions and moves like that. I've never seen this happen before, guys. And I've been watching MMA and the UFC for a very long time. A very, very, very long time. And I have never seen in my personal life, let alone watching these professional athletes, I've never seen someone so able to fuck up and do things and get caught doing things so many times. And like I was saying, guys, John Jones, he may be completely innocent, but his track record says otherwise. That's like being a bad kid in school, and you were that bad kid in school, and oh boy. Oh, Paul. Hold on, guys. It's like being a bad kid in school, guys. And you were so bad that kids were able to oh my gosh, people are texting me. Okay, so let's say you're a bad kid, and you just did things, and you did things over and over, and you always got in trouble by the teacher. You know, always got in trouble by the teacher, and then kids were like, "Hey, now we can start blame. We can blame stuff on this kid." You know, like, hey, if we say this, the teacher's gonna believe it. You know, the teacher gets caught. The teacher catches you doing this. The teacher catches you doing that. The teacher catches you. Oh, so and then this the next year in school, this one kid decides, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do better. You know, I'm gonna be a good kid. I'm gonna change my ways. I'm gonna straighten the F up, and I'm gonna be the model student. Okay. And then all of a sudden, these kids who, the same kids, you know what I'm saying, that used to blame stuff on this kid, you know what I'm saying? They say, hey, we're gonna set him up, we're gonna blame him for this, we're gonna say he did this, we're gonna say he stole this, you know what I'm saying? And they run to the principal's office and they say, hey, Mr. Dana White, no, that's not use Dana White. Mr. USADA is the principal. Mr. USADA, John, he stole candy out of the teacher's, he stole candy out of the teacher's drawer, and we all saw it. Okay. Now, mind you, I told you, new little John, he used to be a very bad kid, but this year he decided, I'm going to be a really good kid. I'm really going to be a good kid. So they go and tell on John for stealing candy out of the teacher's drawer. John didn't do it. He's innocent. He did not do it. It was actually little Charlie over there. You know what I'm saying? So the principal says, hey, John, some kids told me you stole some candy out of the drawer. No, I didn't do it. No, I didn't do it. I promise I did not do it. Hey, but you've done it before. But you've done this before. So what makes me think that, oh, wait a minute. Is that chocolate I see on the side of your mouth? Is that just a little bitty speck of chocolate that I see on the side of your mouth? What is that? What is that on the side of your cheek there? Huh. So what would you believe, guys? Little Johnny thinks that he's innocent. But what do you guys think? I don't know. But anyways, guys, I just had to get on and say my thoughts and say my piece on John Jones. I don't know what to think, guys. And the masses, the mass of MMA fans are they're gonna probably end up giving John Jones a pass. They didn't give Jessica Penney a pass. They didn't give Sean O'Malley a pass. But they're gonna give, they've because they've never had to give Sean O'Malley a pass. But this is only fuck up. Okay. John Jones has done this more than one time. John Jones loves to put things in his body. And John Jones said it to himself. He still ain't sober. Jesus, y'all. I don't know what to say. But anyways, guys, this is your boy BJ from No Filter MMA. I thought I would come on for a little bit, do a little bit of live ranting for you guys. Once I collect my thoughts and get the words John Jones is a cheater out of my head, maybe I can come back on here reasonably and we can we can talk a little bit more civilly on this live chat. But right now, y'all, I'm a little pissed off about how the UFC is handling this whole John Jones situation. I really love the UFC as an organization. I do. I love some of the things a lot of the people that are fighting in the UFC. I have a lot of respect for the sport. I have a lot of respect for Dana White for making the UFC what it is today, because the UFC has grown leaps and bounds from what it once was. And I even appreciate you, Sada, for coming in and cleaning up the sport, quote unquote, and making this really really enjoyable sport to really be. It's really easy to become interactive in the sport, guys, especially in this podcasting world. But one thing that really angers me is when someone, a cash cow, makes a big mistake and it's nothing. And I know a lot of you gonna hate this, but Nico Montano, if we stick to the stories that the athletes say, this is not personal opinion. If we stick to the stories that athletes say, Nico Montano missed weight one time and she was stripped of her belt. So I mean, and John Jones is tested positive for a steroid, and he still gets to fight for a title. Y'all don't see the wrong in that, then you shouldn't be watching, and you shouldn't even be watching the UFC. So, all right, guys, this is your boy BJ No Filter MMA. I'm out. Drop your comments in the comment section and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe, guys.